From out of the West comes Red Ryder, America's famous fighting cowboy.
Rod that pony, little beaver. There's been a shooting over at Paradise Plateau, and we've got to see that justice is done.
You betcha, Red Ryder. Get along. Get him up. Get!
Come on, Thunder. Ride 'em, cowboy.
The Adventures of Red Ryder. In just a moment, we'll join Red Ryder. Red Ryder and Little Beaver would be the first to tell you that there's nothing more enjoyable than a good sandwich. And if you like sandwiches that are so fresh and flavorful, so tender and rich that each bite is a taste delight, make them with fresh and tasty Langendorf bread. The bread baking experts judged America's finest. Sandwiches made with Langendorf bread help give you strength and energy, too. In addition to other healthful benefits, each smooth and flavorful slice contains dextrose, the world's greatest quick-energy food, to help pep you up. Yes, you youngsters who take your lunches to school, and you men and women who take sandwiches to work, will find that Langendorf bread sandwiches taste better and are better. So for goodness sake, and for energy's sake, always make sandwiches with Langendorf, the bread judged America's finest. Get fresh and tasty Langendorf bread at your grocer's tomorrow. It is an early summer's morning, and Red Ryder and Little Beaver have ridden to a far corner of Painted Valley on an errand of mercy. The plaintive bawling of an injured cow has been reported by one of the ranch hands, and Red and his constant companion have gone to seek it out. We find them as they are ministering to the crippled animal.
Yeah, now, you poor critter. I know just how this pulled smarts on that festered shank of yours. But it'll be all over in a few minutes.
Cow, him crybaby.
And a fine one you are to go talking that way, little beaver. Well, remember the time you had the
You
mumps
want
and
him bandaged now?
Not half as much as you want 'em change 'em subject. Finest medicine on the sun. Laughter. Just look at that critter perk up. All right, now. Give me the bandage to wrap around the poultice. Say, you suddenly been struck deaf and dumb, little beaver? I said, give me the...
You see him what I see?
Huh? You mean that cloud of dust way down there on the highway? Somebody must be in an awful hurry. But so am I to get back to the ranch house, so how about that bandage? Thanks. Oh, wrapping it a bit too tight, am I? Well, I'll fix that. Little beaver, quit staring down at that highway and start putting the stuff back in that first aid kit. Now, if we don't get a move on, the Duchess will give us the...
Buckboard and horses on highway.
Huh? No wonder they're making such fast time. The driver's whipping his horses.
Me see him.
Now, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's the ornery, low-down, good-for-nothing coyote that'll whip horses. Now, quick, little beaver. Dump everything into the first aid kit and... All right, there you go, you critter.
You betcha we catch a buckboard.
Yes, sir. Now grab your pinto and let's get going. Get alongside the left horse and grab the reins, little beaver. I'll do the same with the right one. Careful you don't get unseated. Steady. Oh, there. Steady.
Leave my horses alone, do you hear? Leave them alone or I'll use the whip on you.
Well, I'll be hog-tied a woman in dungarees.
Let go of those horses or I'll cut you to pieces with this whip, mister.
Just you try it, ma'am. I'm holding on to these horses.
Look up, Red Ryder. Squaw wild like fire wild.
I'm not getting delayed by anybody. I don't care who. Out of my way!
I see I've got to take that whip away from you. Now hold the horses, little beaver.
Me hold them.
Don't you dare come near me. Don't you dare.
I never fought a woman before, but this time... There. I just hope I don't carry that welt across my face all my life, ma'am.
Give me that whip. I've got to get on. I tell you, I've got to.
Well, you won't get there with those horses tuckered out the way they are. Now look at them, frothing at the mouth, plumb worn out.
Why can't you leave me alone?
Red Ryder, you look him here.
Huh? What did you find there in the back of the buckboard, little beaver?
Man, him dead.
Dead man. Here, let me see.
I knew they killed him. I knew it wasn't any use.
He's still alive. Quick, little beaver. Fetch the first aid kit from the pommel of my saddle. Lucky thing we headed along.
You betcha, Red Ryder.
Bullet right alongside the heart.
You think him all right?
Not unless we can get him to a doctor right away. Well, I'm doing what I can here. You unhitch the horses from the buckboard and replace them with Thunder and your Pinto.
But they not harness horses.
Well, they are now.
Thunder got him too much spirit to pull buckboard.
He'll do it for me, all right. And the life of this man depends on it. Now do what I say. Now that you've calmed down, ma'am, it'll help a powerful lot if you'll explain a few things.
You'll have to forgive me for what I said and did. I lost my head. I was trying to get my husband to Devil's Hole. I knew the nearest doctor was there, and I thought you were trying to stop me.
Why should I? Why should anyone? Unless it was the varmint that shot your husband.
That's it. I was so crazed with worry and grief, I thought you'd followed me all the way from Paradise Plateau.
Say, you have come quite a piece, haven't you, ma'am? No wonder those horses are...
I must have been out of my mind to whip them. I've never done anything like that before, but all I could think of was to make them go faster or Jim would die.
I understand. And I'm sure even the horses would forgive you if they knew the reason. Well, here we are. How is he back there, little beaver?
Still breathing.
Thank God. Maybe we've still time.
Oh, there. Oh. Now's the doctor's only in. Let's hope that luck is still with us, and he is.
You'll have to deliver the anesthetic, Red. My wife usually does it, but she's over at a neighbor's. You think you can handle it?
Well, I've never done anything like that before, but sure. Sure, I can manage it.
Can't saw that lead pellet. Can't saw it, I say. It's lodged in there like it... bedded in deeper than any I ever saw. There, I got it.
Tell me the truth, Mr. Ryder. Do you think... is there really any hope?
Well, Mrs. Eddy, Doc says he won't be able to tell for sure until your husband starts coming out of the anesthetic. But he appears to think there's a fighting chance.
And I owe it all to you. How can I ever thank you?
Oh, never mind that now, ma'am. But if I'm not meddling, won't you tell me how your husband got shot? Because whoever did it needs to have the law on him, if that hasn't happened already.
Law? What can the law do?
Ma'am, what's that you're saying?
You'd say it too
If what, ma'am? Mind telling me how this started?
Well, we came out from Ohio about a year ago, just after we got married. Jim said that there was a future out west for a man that was willing to work for it.
And barring tough luck and the cussedness of certain rascals, he was right.
No, he was wrong. No man ever worked harder than my Jim. Why, from early morning until late at night, he was...
How did you happen to locate at Paradise Plateau?
Well, on the trail, we met up with an agent of the company in charge of the development. The Paradise Plateau Mutual Water Company.
I've heard tell of it, but didn't pay much attention.
Well, the story we heard would have made anyone pay attention. Especially us. It seemed made to order for us. So much so that I remember saying to Jim, it's too good to be true.
Exactly what was the proposition?
In order to encourage settlers, the water company was offering to sell each one a parcel of 60 acres at $5 an acre.
No wonder you said it was too good to be true. That was cheap.
Oh, there were certain qualifications. Each settler had to sort of prove up on his land.
build on it, I suppose.
Yes, a house and a barn by the end of the first year. If not, everything was to be forfeited. I guess we should have known from that, should have been forewarned. But you see, Mr. Ryder, they all talk so smoothly, and they even let you divide the acreage price into 3 payments of $100 each.
Uh-huh. I think I'm beginning to catch on.
Wait. It's almost unbelievable how crooked some men can be. For 1 year, we worked our fingers to the bone. We cultivated the land, bought a herd of cattle, built our barn, and then... Oh, it seems ages ago, but it was only yesterday. Jim and I were...
Hiya, mister. Your name Jim Eddy?
Why, yes, mister. What can I do for you?
Jim? Oh, visitors?
I guess so. Them horsemen there, friends of yours?
You might call them that. Thought they'd come along just in case we had trouble. I'm from the Paradise Plateau Mutual Water Company. Got a little bill for you. Small matter of $1,350.
1300. How much?
Jim.
Yeah, assessments is what it says here. $22.50 an acre.
Assessments? Why, I paid $300 on this land like the contract says. I never understood we had more money to pay.
I didn't come to take no excuses, mister. It's pay or get off in the land, and right now.
So that's it. Ruth, get me my rifle.
No, you don't, mister. Hold it. Stand right where you are.
Nobody's coming into my house.
Oh, Jim.
Nobody pulling guns on us while we're just riding around doing our duty. Now get off this land unless you got $1,300, and fast. Because if you don't, by nightfall...
And then, Mr. Ryder, they took everything we had, except this team and buckboard.
Uh-huh. Now, just one more question, ma'am. This man who put you off the land, had you ever seen him before?
Never.
I see. Well, I reckon you must be mighty hungry and just about all in. Now, there's a nice old lady in this flea-bitten town of Devil's Hole, Granny Smith. She'll fix you up the best meal you've ever tasted. There you can rest and clean up.
Thank you, Mr. Ryder. But I couldn't step out of this door. I couldn't eat a morsel until I found out about Jim.
Well, Doctor...
Doctor, is it...
You're all green now, Miss Eddy. He's asking for you.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Jim, darling.
Well, is that a load off my buckskins, knowing that he'll pull through?
Who told you he would, Red?
But I thought... What's the lowdown, Doc?
That operation is one of the slickest ever done in these parts, if I do say so myself. And like I told you before, he had a fighting chance.
Then what?
He won't fight.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I said. The fella won't fight. For some reason or other, he doesn't seem to want to live.
Doesn't seem to want to live.
Maybe you know why.
Yes, I sure reckon I do. Think I'll have a talk with him.
Don't, darling. Don't talk like that.
Mind if I come in, ma'am?
Oh, Mr. Ryder, I wish you would.
Who is it, Ruth?
Jim, this is Red Ryder. I'd never have made it here in time with you if it hadn't been for him.
Oh, thanks, partner. Though it looks like that won't make no difference now.
You mustn't say such things, Jim. You mustn't think them. You've got to live, if only for my sake.
Oh, a fine woman like you, Ruth. You'll be well rid of me.
Oh, Jim, I love you.
You'll be all right, ma'am.
Huh?
You mean the doctor said...
No, it's what I'm saying.
Oh.
You see, Jim, you're going to get back that 60 acres at Paradise Plateau. Yes, and everything that goes with it.
You can't mean it.
He doesn't. Just saying that to make me feel better.
I'm giving you the word of Red Ryder. And folks that know me will tell you Red Ryder has never gone back on his word yet.
Oh, I know. I know,
But how can you possibly...
There must be a way, and I'll find it. Now, it's too late to start now, ma'am. So you'll spend the night at Granny Smith's. Then first thing in the morning, we'll hitch up the buckboard, and you, Little Beaver, and I'll make for Paradise Plateau.
We return to the adventures of Red Ryder in just a moment. Strength and energy are two things that make Red Ryder a real fighting man. And to have strength and energy, you must eat foods that are high in nutrition. So if you want extra food to help pep you up, here's the way to get it. Eat plenty of fresh and tasty Langendorf bread with every meal. But it's good, and good for you, too. Yes, delicious Langendorf bread supplies valuable food elements the body uses for energy and to build muscle and tissue. Then, for extra energy, fresh and tasty Langendorf bread contains dextrose, the world's greatest quick energy food. You'll find that Langendorf bread adds zest to every meal, and zest to living, too. It's so wonderfully fresh, so smooth and tasty, that baking experts judged it America's finest bread. Plain with butter or jelly, toasted or in sandwiches, you'll agree that Langendorf bread is the finest bread you ever tasted. So help yourself to extra energy this extra good way. Get a loaf of fresh and tasty Langendorf bread tomorrow. Toward dusk of the following afternoon, we find Red Ryder driving the buckboard toward what was formerly the Eddy Ranch at Paradise Plateau. Seated next to him, and trying hard to conceal her anxiety over the approaching showdown, is Mrs. Eddy. Some distance behind the wagon is Little Beaver, mounted on his pinto and firmly clutching Thunder's halter. Now, the Indian boy gallops forward to plead with Red once more.
Well, Little Beaver, what is it this time?
Me still want him turned back.
I've told you a dozen times you could. Just tie Thunder to the back of the buckboard.
Me no turning back without you.
Then for the last time, get this straight. I'm not turning back. Why, we're almost there.
But me got him hunch Wiseman stay away from Paradise Plateau or go to other paradise. Bang, bang.
Now quit worrying that little head of yours about me. I savvy right enough what I'm getting into.
Get him into trouble. Squaws always bring him trouble.
Little Beaver is right. Perhaps I am getting you in a lot of trouble.
Now just remember this, Mrs. Eddy. Coming here was my own idea. You didn't ask me.
I know, but...
And wasn't your husband a good deal better when we stopped by this morning just before leaving? That Doc says he wished that kind of improvement came in bottles.
Oh, I know it means Jim's life, getting the ranch back for him. But it may also mean your life, and I could never forgive myself
Now, ma'am, if I'd got shot every time I've taken a chance, well, I'd be as full of holes as Ching Hao's kitchen sieve back at Painted Valley.
But... here's a turn.
Good. Get up. It's getting plenty dark, but I can still make out the buildings. Looks right handsome, too.
Everyone said ours was the finest place of all. Maybe that's why we lost it.
Maybe.
Mr. Ryder,
Ma'am?
wouldn't it be safer not to drive up openly like this?
Sneaking around is all right for coyotes and rustlers, but it kind of goes against my grain. Whoa there. All right, open up the gate, Little Beaver. Hey, where's Little Beaver gone?
Mr. Ryder.
Yes?
When we turned off the main road back there, I was sure I saw it. A lamp shining from the window of my kitchen.
Are you positive?
No, I'm not positive, but what do you think it might mean?
Well, it could be anything, Mrs. Eddy. There's somebody living in your house already. That's about the only thing I can figure. Now, where did Little Beaver go to?
Where are you going?
There. Is that the glimmer of light you saw?
Yes, and it is in my kitchen window.
You better stay here.
No, I'm going with you.
Now, Mrs. Eddy, ma'am, I got a feeling that...
All right, Andre. Stay where you are.
And who are you, mister?
That's the voice of the man who put us off our land.
By jing, so you're back.
Can't a man even walk around this country?
This is my land. Just bought this place. There's a sign back there. No trespassing. Didn't you see it?
How could we see any signs when it's as dark as this? And what if we just aimed to pay a social call?
Yeah? Just let me catch you around here.
You're the man who shot my husband. This isn't your land. You couldn't have bought it. It's ours.
That's what you think.
Now, take it easy, ma'am. That sort of talk doesn't affect hombres like him. I can see that.
You bet it don't.
All right, mister. If it's just our trespassing on your land that you object to, we can... You have got a fast draw there, mister. You've had practice.
By jings, mister. Someday I'll get you for this if my arm ain't ruined.
Lucky all I shot at was your gun. Now stand over there and answer questions. What do you mean by saying you bought this place?
None of your business.
You want some more of the same medicine, or...
No, wait, listen. I did buy it.
Who from?
The Paradise Plateau Mutual Water Company. With assessment values.
Where do you come from? All right, come on. Where do you come from?
From down across the border. I used to work for Phil Wainwright.
And who's Wainwright?
Mr. Ryder, That's the president of the water company.
I think I get it. And I'll bet I know the kind of work you used to do for this Wainwright hombre, too.
Yeah?
Somewhere else there's been a water company come into a valley where they invited settlers, and like this one, pretty soon they told the settlers there was more money to pay than they figured on. And in this case, you had the job of driving them out. Come on, is that the story?
Well, yeah.
A fellow named Ace Hanlon got anything to do with this Wainwright?
Well, maybe he has.
Now we're really getting somewhere. What's your name?
Jack Miley. Well, let me go to the house and bandage up this arm where the gun splinter's got it, can't you?
Go on back and count yourself lucky you didn't get worse. I'm going to have a little talk with that Wainwright hombre.
Mr. Ryder, somebody's coming.
Yes? What's Little Beaver?
Red Ryder! Oh, other part of valley, people leave them homes, too.
I figured that you were seen about something. They being driven off?
Me no can tell 'em. They just leave horses, wagons, got 'em stuff piled way up like 'em people move.
All right, come on, folks. Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Never mind that now. Just get in the buckboard. Mrs. Eddie, ma'am, I sure wish I didn't have you along.
What's the trouble?
Well, I've been thinking this over. I figure on calling on this Wainwright hombre. Now, it's plain things aren't what they should be in this man's country. But in the meantime, what can I do with you?
Oh, don't worry about me. Please don't. Put me anywhere. I'm used to camping. I'm not afraid.
I don't know about that, ma'am. It's getting right dark.
Red Ryder, me watch 'em.
You'll take care of Mrs. Eddie?
Me guard 'em.
Good, that's all I want to know. Now, look, drive the buckboard over toward that clump of alders and wait for me to come back. Now, don't make any fire or let anybody know you're there by any sign. I'll unhitch Thunder and be back in an hour or two, I reckon.
Just come over to report, Mr. Wainwright.
Well, come in, Baldy. Come in. Shut the door.
Sure, boss.
Yeah. Have a cigar.
Yeah.
It's a nice piece of work the boy's been doing the past 24 hours.
And now look, Wainwright. I told you I didn't want that Miley among my men. He's too handy with a trigger.
Now listen, Miley's all right.
Yeah? Well, he evidently didn't tell you that he plugged that guy Eddie and putting him off his ranch.
Plugged him?
Yeah. Now look, Wainwright. I'm not again making a few dollars the easy way. This idea of Ace Hanlon's of juggling the books of the water company so's assessments can be raised again the settlers and then getting in the new crop to milk, I thought that's a slick deal. But I don't want no part in shooting any of 'em, see? And if there's anything come of the Eddie shooting, I throw you to the dogs and fast.
Yeah? Well, you get this on your own part, Baldy. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. We're secure in our legal rights. And if Eddie or anybody else resists, can I help
Shut
you?
up.
Huh? What's the trouble?
I thought I heard something outside.
I didn't hear nothing.
Well, maybe I was hearing things. Go on.
Hang it. You did hear somebody. Come in.
Evening, gentlemen. Just thought I'd pay a little social call.
Yes, sir. Come in. Kind of late at night. Your call business or social?
Which one of you is Wainwright?
I am. This is Mr. Julius Baldy, my chief engineer. You interested in acquiring land in the district? We still got a few choice acres left for enterprising young men.
Well, I don't know as I'd be interested in the land so much as the method of buying it.
Yeah? Meaning what?
I got some friends that did some business with you, and I don't like the way it was done. People named James Eddie.
Eddie? Why? Something wrong with him?
Consarn it, Wainwright.
Easy, Baldy, easy.
Now look, Wainwright. You're not fooling anybody but yourself. I've come here to ask you to give back to the Eddies what's theirs.
What's theirs? Why should I? I don't owe them anything. They owe me.
I'm just curious to know how.
Now listen, mister. I don't see why I should tell you my business.
Show him a contract, Wainwright. It's legal.
All right. Here's a standard contract.
Printing so fine it would take a magnifying glass to read it.
Can I help it if you got bad eyes?
Fact is, Wainwright, I got pretty good eyes. Trigger eyes. The Paradise Plateau Mutual Water Company shall be and is hereby empowered to make any such special assessments as its board of directors shall deem necessary. And in the event such assessments are not duly paid... Why did you all of a sudden assess Eddie and nobody else?
Well, had to improve the ditches down in his section.
Kind of expensive ditch digging, wasn't it? At $22.50 an acre?
Well, I didn't do it. Our board of directors did, made up of the ranchers themselves.
But handpicked by you.
Look here. I stood about all the curiosity I can from you. Who are you, anyway?
Red Ryder's the name.
Red Ryder.
Good grief.
That mean anything to you, gentlemen?
No. Now, listen, Ryder. You get out of here. I never did anything to you.
Just stay right where you are. Don't go near that door.
Look out, boy! Blast it!
Too bad that gun of yours stuck there, Mr. Baldy. I must admit I didn't see your hand as fast as I should have. I figured that Wainwright here would do the fast acting. Apparently, he lets others do his shooting for him.
I'll have the law on you, Ryder. You can't come into the office of a corporation like
Where
that.
do you keep the contract that Eddie signed? In that safe? Open it.
I tell you, I'll have the law on you.
Open that safe.
Yes.
Stop shaking like that. I only want you to take one thing out of there. Eddie's contract. And I want you to spread it on that table, pick up a pen, dip it in the ink and mark it. All assessments, present and future, paid in full. Oh, thunder, easy. Well, folks?
Red Ryder come back.
Howdy, Mrs. Eddie, ma'am.
Oh, I'm so glad, Mr. Ryder. I've been terribly worried.
No need to, ma'am. And you can also quit worrying about your husband, because no sick bed will ever be able to hold him after he hears the news.
News? What news?
Well, you see, ma'am, Mr. and Mrs. James Eddy have just got back one grade A improved ranch, complete with paid-up contract.
On Paradise Plateau, a fight looms between the settlers who came to build their homes and the water company that now seeks to force them off their land. The young rancher, Jim Eddy, who was shot during the fracas, still lies in critical condition back at Devil's Hole, though Red Ryder succeeded in saving the ranch for Eddy's wife from Phil Wainwright, president of the water company. Now, though late at night, the news of Red's exploit on behalf of the Eddys spreads like wildfire through the countryside.
Open up. Hey, it's me, Frank Williams.
Hey, what's the idea, Frank? Waking folks up this time of the night.
Hey, listen, did you folks get an order from Phil Wainwright to vacate your land tomorrow?
I sure did. Was going to see about it in the morning as soon as I
Get on your clothes, on your horse and over to my house. There's a meeting on.
Making trouble?
Didn't Red Ryder save the Eddies from losing their land? He's still on Paradise Plateau. We're organizing a committee. Going to put our case before him. Tell him just what Phil Wainwright's doing.
All right. Just wait till I get this night shirt changed. Hey, you need any help playing Paul Revere?
Sure do. I'll take the west half of the plateau. You take the other. Rustle out everybody, even those that ain't had no evacuation order yet. Have them meet at my place soon as they can get there. And make sure that Wainwright don't hear about the meeting just yet either. And get going. We gotta work fast.
Wainwright, hey!
Well, Baldy, people usually knock at my
Am
office.
I glad you ain't in bed? Now, listen.
Look, I told you to go to bed early. We got to start seeing every settler on the books of this water company early tomorrow morning.
I don't care what you told me. I'll tell you something for a change. Now, you laughed at me when I said we headed for trouble to let that Jim Eddy get shot. Well, we are. Miley just brought me word the settlers is holding a meeting over to Frank Williams's.
Huh? I thought Red Ryder left the plateau.
Now, maybe he has and maybe he ain't. There's still a meeting.
Good. Just what I've been hoping for.
What you been hoping for?
You bet. We're legally in the clear. The water company has every right to lay down assessments on this land. And if the people can't pay, it's their fault. Just let them start trouble. And we got two aces. Put them off their land or shut their water off. Now take your horse down to Wasteland Gulch and tell the sheriff I need him.
The sheriff?
Go on. Don't ask questions. Get.
Mrs. Eddie, ma'am. Guess you're all properly settled back on your own place by now.
Oh, Mr. Ryder, I honestly don't know how I'll ever thank you for all you did. I just know that when Jim gets on his feet again, he'll...
I know how your husband will feel, Mrs. Eddie, ma'am. I was going to say, now that you're settled, Little Beaver and I'd better get started.
Started at this hour of the night?
Yes? Ready, Little Beaver?
Where we going, Red Ryder?
Well, for one thing, we might have a few errands to do at Painted Valley Ranch.
You betcha.
But can't you start in the morning? You must be just about all tuckered out with what happened today.
Red Ryder, him always fresh, like wind.
And you, Little Beaver, you're not tired? Why, you're just a child.
Me not child.
Fact is, Mrs. Eddie, ma'am, he's got more lasting power than a lot of grown men. They named him about right when they called him Little Beaver. Of course, it might be better if he stayed behind and caught up on his sleep.
No. Me go, me already gone.
You might get the horses ready. Now, just one thing bothers me, ma'am. You're being here alone while your husband's laid up.
I have Jim's guns. If anybody looks for trouble, he'll find it.
Well, just the same, I'd feel better if you'd stay with friends tonight. Anybody around you know well enough?
Well, there's the Williams family, 3-4 miles over on the other side of the plateau.
Then just pack what you need. We'll take you on over there and then be on our way.
I wish you'd tell me what's on your mind, Red Ryder. You decided to ride tonight awful sudden.
All right, folks. Then we've decided one of us goes over to talk to Red Ryder before he pulls out of Paradise Plateau. Now, my idea is... see who that is, Luke.
Yeah.
Open in the name of the law. Oh, it's the sheriff.
The sheriff, let's go.
Now, stay where you are, everybody. Ain't no law in this county against peaceful assembly. What are we? Scared as our cattle for a storm? Luke, you take the bar off on that door and see what the sheriff wants.
All right.
Hello, Sheriff.
I thought I'd see you here, Williams.
And Wainwright, too, folks.
What's going on? Quilton Bee, maybe?
More likely a church supper, Sheriff.
Caught it, Wainwright. You tell us what you're doing here.
Oh, so you want to ask the questions? All right, I'll answer. You all come here a year ago because you thought you could get cheap homes, eh? At $5 an acre. And you did. But now we need more money. And if you'll just look at the contracts you signed, they say we've got the right to assess every acre you got for additional money if we have to have it. Well, we gotta have it.
But Wainwright, telling us now we've all got to pay $22.50 more per acre to keep our homes. We're poor folk. We ain't got money like that. We just got our houses built, our barns, our fences. We're broke. That ain't right, and you know it. And don't bring the sheriff in here to tell us different.
The sheriff represents law and order.
Yeah, we got rights under the law.
I'm the law in this county, Frank Williams. And I say that if everybody ain't out here by the time I count 10...
And the sheriff counts none too slow.
1, 2, 3...
And now keep your seats, everyone. Stay where you are.
Just hold it.
Hey, look who's here.
Red Ryder.
Well, looks like a pretty complete meeting, including the sheriff. You know, I've been watching you, Mr. Sheriff, and you've been acting mighty suspicious yourself.
Ryder, if you know what's good for you, you'll make tracks out of this here section of the world.
That's so, Wainwright? Guess you don't know me very well. But then we only met for the first time a few hours ago. Oh, Mrs. Eddie, ma'am, Little Beaver, come on in and shut the door. The breeze makes that lamp flicker.
What in the world?
Now, never mind. Just some folks visiting. Now, what's going on?
Red, we're in the same fix the Eddies were. We're all asked to pay assessments we can't pay, so we got to get off by morning.
By morning?
That's right. They don't give us no time, ain't all.
We're just going to draw up a resolution asking for your help when them 2 polecats busted in.
Who calls me a polecat?
All right then, Sheriff. Skunk, if that fits better.
Now, listen, folks, let's not call names. Get him, Sheriff. Red Ryder, I never seen a man so careless of his health as you. Darn you!
You missed me, Mr. Sheriff.
All right, hold it, everybody. I wouldn't make another move with that gun, Sheriff. I can see in that moonlight from the window. Williams, get another lamp.
Red Ryder. Red Ryder.
Why, you little...
Little Beaver, where are you? What's the matter?
All right, Ryder. I got your little engine pal with a gun at his head. And I'll blow him to kingdom come if every man in here don't freeze in his tracks.
You win, Wainwright. What do I do now?
Walk over towards that window, towards the beam of moonlight.
No.
All right, let him alone. I'll walk to the window.
And no tricks.
Well, now what?
Drop your gun. Take over, Sheriff.
All right, Ryder. You're my prisoner. One move and I drill you.
And that's for the rest of you. Go on home where you belong. You see how far you got with your idea of asking Red Ryder to help you in this? Take your prisoner away, Sheriff. Well, Mr. Ryder, make yourself right to home.
Aren't you even going to untie my wrist?
What do you think?
But you got me lassoed up here like a wild boar.
Better to keep you in. You know, Sheriff, I still think we should have brought that Injun kid along.
What for? I don't want to be bothered with no kids when I got a rat like Ryder on my hands.
No use casting your eyes around the cell, Ryder, because even a magician couldn't get out of here.
For once, Wainwright, I believe you.
You'd have done better, Ryder, to believe me when I said this was none of your business. It may not be too late yet to reconsider. Think it over. I'll be back in a little while. Come on, Sheriff.
Don't get too lonesome.
Blast these confounded ropes if I could only... Now it's no use. Huh? Now I'm beginning to imagine things.
Red Ryder.
Well, I'll be doggone. Little Beaver, how did you get yourself perched way up there on the other side of those window bars?
He got a knife to cut ropes.
Bless you, Little Beaver. Now, let's see now. How'll we manage it? I've got it. Toss the knife through the bars, but be sure it lands on this cot over here so there won't be any noise.
He got a good aim.
Perfect.
But you all tied up. How you cut him ropes?
Got an educated set of molars, I have. Once I get that knife handle clenching my teeth, like this.
Oh, me catch him.
There. Now to get out of these ropes. There.
Now how you get him out of cell?
You got me there, Little Beaver. Of course, if I had my gun now, I might have some chance of shooting my way out the next time Wainwright or the sheriff opens the cell door.
Me go get him gun. Yes, Red Ryder?
Fast as you can, Little Beaver. Meantime, I'd better wrap these ropes around me again so I'll look like I'm still tied, in case those hombres come back before you do.
Well, Red Ryder, how do you like our hospitality, huh? You don't have to answer then. But even in the dim light from the passageway, I can make out the look on your face. And I wouldn't say it was exactly carefree.
Quit wasting time, Wainwright. What do you want now?
Look who's talking about wasting time. Ryder, you're going to have more time to waste than the dog has fleas. You see, the sheriff's got you booked on at least a dozen charges. Breaking open my safe.
I didn't break it open. You opened it for me.
At the point of a gun. Mere technicality. But to continue. Assaulting an officer of the law. Inciting a mob. Forcing me to mark Jim Eddy's contract paid.
Wainwright, you wouldn't dare bring any of those charges into court against me. Why, when I'd tell my story, you'd end up in a marshal's custody.
I'm afraid you'd get a death judge, Ryder. That is, deaf to anything you might have to say in your own behalf and contrary to my interests.
I see. Seems like this county needs a little cleaning up. You even got the courts fixed, huh?
I never overlook a trick. Besides, Ryder, you might not live long enough to go to court.
Meaning?
Let's say, well, you might be shot while trying to make a jailbreak.
Oh. You said it might not be too late to reconsider. What's your proposition?
Now we're getting somewhere. Listen, Ryder, I'm a pretty cagey hombre, if you get what I mean. Very few men I'll trust. But I'll try you.
Go on.
Never could understand your sort. Fighting and dying for unprofitable things like honor, integrity, justice. But I got a hunch that your word once given is strong as any bond.
Well?
Just say that you'll clear right out of Paradise Plateau and never interfere with me again. And I'll let you go scot-free. Well, what's your answer?
This is my answer. Now you know how little Beaver felt when you were choking him. Now I pick up your gun. Now to put you here on the cot. Get into your coat and sombrero.
Hey, Wainwright! I thought I heard some funny noises back there.
Well, no, Sheriff. Not back here.
Now to try to walk out of here.
Well, what's that ornery cuss say, Wainwright? Hey, where in tarnation you going?
See you later, Sheriff. Got some urgent business I better attend to.
Must be local.
And some of that business, Mr. Sheriff, is with you.
We return to the adventures of Red Ryder in just a moment. Red Ryder has one thing that we all want, and that's energy. Yes, youngsters and grown-ups alike must have energy to really enjoy life. So remember this, one of the finest, as well as one of the most economical sources of energy, is fresh and tasty Langendorf bread. Yes, every delicious slice of this finer bread may be used by the body for energy, to help build muscle and tissue. But that's not all. For extra energy, fresh and tasty Langendorf bread is made with dextrose, the world's greatest quick energy food. Now, isn't it great that anything so downright good as energizing, flavorful Langendorf bread is so good for you, too? Just wait until you enjoy its wonderful freshness and fine, smooth texture. Your first taste will tell you why baking experts judged Langendorf bread America's finest. So help yourself and your family to needed energy with plenty of fresh and tasty Langendorf bread, white or wheat, at every meal. Get a loaf of America's finest bread, fresh and tasty Langendorf bread, at your grocer's tomorrow. Red Ryder has sought to help the settlers of Paradise Plateau retain the land which is rightfully theirs. Jailed for his efforts, he practiced a clever ruse which won him his freedom again. He's only gone a short distance from the jail when...
Little Beaver, that you with Thunder and the Pinto?
Red Ryder, how you get him out, and where you get him coat and sombrero?
Never mind that now. They're Wainwrights. But I guess I had better chuck them away, or I'm liable to be mistaken for that skunk. Well, even you recognized me in this getup, didn't you, Thunder? You know, as soon as I heard you, I knew I was among friends. Because I could tell that whinny in a herd of 100 horses. And does it feel good to be on your back again?
Me got him gun for you, Red Ryder.
Thanks, Little Beaver. Though I already have Wainwright's gun.
We leave him Paradise Plateau now. Yes, Red Ryder?
Nope.
Maybe they arrest you again.
Let them try. But look, it'll be dawn soon. We've got to work fast.
Frank Williams.
Is that you, Mr. Ryder? Oh, you don't know how frantic we've all been thinking that...
Thank you, ma'am. But Frank Williams, where is he?
They're all holding a meeting over at Wasteland Gulch. And oh, Mr. Ryder, I'm afraid there's going to be terrible bloodshed.
Wasteland Gulch, you say? Come on, Little Beaver. And don't worry, ma'am. I'll fix things.
You always do, Red Ryder. The Lord bless you. You always do.
Please stand by now, without as much as lifting a little finger to help Red Ryder.
then we ain't got as much backbone as a crawfish.
Frank Williams is right.
Yeah, but what will we do?
I'll tell you what we'll do. Every mother's son of us will tote all the firearms they can lay hands on. Then we're going over to that jail and blow the blasted thing off its foundations. We'll get Red Ryder out of there, even if we have to...
What's that? I hear horses.
It's the sheriff and Wainwright. They discovered our meeting place. Maybe you got a posse following them. Come on, make for cover.
No. Stop in your tracks, men. We've done all the running away we're going to. Just get your guns cocked. Yeah, just let them try something.
Hey, look, it's Red Ryder and the little engine boy.
Why, gosh, it is. Yes, Red. We were just getting ready to go up and bust you out of the jail. Why'd they let you go?
They didn't. I left of my own accord.
Then that means they'll be coming for you again, eh?
Might be.
And in a little while at dawn, they'll be coming for us. Coming to put us off all land.
Yes, man, we've got to get a move on. Now, everybody go back to his ranch.
No, we ain't going back. Men, I'm fed up with being hounded by Wainwright and his crooks. Fed up with waiting and whimpering while they crack the whip over us. I say let's give them a dose of their own medicine. Let's get even with them once and for all. Let's finish Bill Wainwright and the rest of the rascals and bury him in the deepest hole on Paradise Plateau.
Now, listen to me, men.
Quiet down.
Quit acting like a bunch of Stampede Mavericks and listen to me.
All right, go ahead.
I know exactly how you feel, and maybe I feel the same way. The man wouldn't be human that didn't want to win over those low-down sneaking coyotes. And I give you my word that you will, but not by breaking the law.
But, Red, what'll we do?
Like I said, now if a man go back to his ranch and sit down on his porch with his gun across his knee, I've got a hunch that they'll think twice before starting anything if they're convinced you all mean business. But if they do start trouble with any one of you, the rest of us will be there to help before the smoke of the first bullet has cleared away.
Let me out of here. Has everybody gone deaf? I'm Phil Wainwright. Let me out of here.
Now, listen here, Red Ryder.
Let me out of here, Sheriff.
What do you know? It is you, Wainwright.
Now, get me out of here. Don't just stand there.
But how'd you get in on, and what happened to Red Ryder?
Oh, he's blown the cope, you brainless boob. Hit me over the head and walked out, and you let him.
Now, see here, Wainwright. If you let Red Ryder hit you over the head, I guess I ain't to be blamed for letting you...
Stop yapping and let me out of here.
Why, sure. Give me the key.
What do you mean, give you the key?
Well, you got it. Remember? I gave it to you when you went to talk to Ryder.
Well, Ryder's got it now. Get another key.
My deputy's the only one that's got another key, and I have to send for him.
All right, but hurry, and while you're sending, call together a posse. I'm going to get Red Ryder if it's the last thing I do.
Probably will be the last thing you do. He's a tough one.
Are you going to stand there, or are you going to do something?
Well, it's dawn. No sign of them yet.
You don't think they've...
Here they come now.
Him posse.
Mrs. Eddy, you better join the other women folk now.
But
Now, you promised. Little Beaver, you go along.
Me stay him.
All right. But keep under cover.
Don't take chances, Mr. Ryder.
Yeah, they see you, Red. Wainwright is pointing and talking to the sheriff. Hey, there's still time. Get on Thunder and make a break for it. They'll never catch you.
I'm staying.
But it's no skin off your back what happens to us settlers.
I'm staying.
What'd I tell you, Wainwright? It's the same way at every ranch. Those hombres won't be dislodged without a lot of shooting and a lot of killing. And I don't hanker for it.
I don't know what's suddenly come over you, Sheriff. What made you lose your nerve like this?
Same thing that'd make you lose yours, I reckon. It's a big reason, well over 6 foot. Totes 2 guns and answers to the name of Red Ryder.
Well, I'll show you if I lost my nerve. Luke Carver.
I hear you, Wainwright.
My patience is getting awful short, Luke. If you don't hustle yourself off my land, they'll carry you off in a pine box.
Maybe. But you'll be a-riding in another pine box, Wainwright.
You're licked, Wainwright. And the sun's getting too blamed hot to stand here and sweat.
Wait a minute. We still got our other ace in the hole. We'll shut their water off. I'll show you whether Phil Wainwright is licked.
hot afternoon. Me betch 'em.
You're right there, little beaver.
I don't mind it, though, Red. I feel so good the way everything's turned out. Guess it'd take a heck of a lot to spoil my happy disposition right now. We sure enough stopped Wainwright.
Wouldn't bet on that yet, Frank.
But we ain't seen hide nor hair of him since this morning. If he was going to do something, he
Say, those cattle can't be acting that way just on account of the heat.
Huh? Oh, yeah, come to think of it, they are making quite a racket. And then it's pretty hot.
Let's go and see anyway.
Red Ryder, look 'em. Cow fall 'em down.
Little beaver's right. Something's wrong. Come on. Here's the answer. The water ditches are dry. Wainwright has shut off the water.
We're finished, Red. Cattle died by the dozens during the night. With another hot day here, they'll all be lost before another evening.
Our grazing land and crops will be ruined. That devil Wainwright, he's fixed us proper. We're as helpless as...
Maybe we're not so helpless. I didn't think any man was ornery enough to go through with it. But I'm convinced now, so I won't hold off any longer.
But what can you do, Red?
Open that sluice gate myself.
But they're a-guarding them.
You'll be riddled with bullets. You haven't got a chance.
Just the same, I'm going to try. Guess they didn't figure on anyone swimming across the impounded lake and climbing on the dam from the rear. Yeah. Now to get to that lever.
Red Ryder, get him, men! Get him!
Gotta jam this lever so it can't be fixed right away.
We got you, Red Ryder! You're trapped like a rat! Shoot him down, man!
You'll have to jump in after me, Wainwright, if you want to get me.
He dived into the torrent! Well, let him die that way if he wants to. He'll never live through it. We've seen the last of Red Ryder alive!
The bravest, finest man I ever knew.
And we haven't even been able to find his body to give him a decent burial.
That poor Injun kid's half crazed. Won't give up hope. Look at him over there.
Me find him, Red Ryder. Me find him.
Is he still alive?
You bet I am. Just give me a chance to catch my breath. Caught that pony, little beaver. There's been a shooting over at Paradise Plateau, and we've got to see that justice is done.
You betcha, Red Ryder. Get along. Get him up. Get!
Come on, Thunder. Ride 'em, cowboy.
Paradise Plateau has been anything but heavenly for Red Ryder and the settlers whose land he's trying to save from Phil Wainwright, unscrupulous president of the water company. Wainwright has stopped at nothing, even going so far as to shut off the water supply. Red contrived to get onto the dam and reopen the sluice gate, but then found himself trapped and could only escape by plunging into the unleashed torrent. Wainwright thinks that he's been drowned, but Red's friends have found him clinging to the bank, weak and exhausted.
You're plumb tuckered out, Red. Sure you can manage to stick in Thunder's saddle?
Oh, I'm much better now, Williams.
But, Mr. Ryder, if you would rest just a short while longer...
We'll stay him here. Bad men find him.
Little Beaver's right. Don't hanker much to have Wainwright find me now the way I'm feeling. Say, turned mighty cold all of a sudden, didn't it?
Cold?
Son, him bathe.
Shucks, yes, Red. The sun's really a-sizzling. You must be sick.
Well, you've got the chills. A fever must be coming on.
Nothing to be worrying about, though. I'll be all right as soon
We'd better
as...
not take any chances. Let's hit it out for my ranch
No,
house.
take Mr. Ryder to my place. We'll be able to hide him better there.
All right, but let's get going. Red's beginning to shake like a willow in a windstorm.
Sheriff, it worked out right slick, didn't it?
Yeah, Wainwright. But you know, as much as I hated that hombre, spoils my appetite just to think of a death like that. The onrushing water swallowed Red Ryder up like it would an apple and shot him out through the sluice gates.
Yeah, but an apple bobs back up to the surface. And Red Ryder didn't. Nah, We've seen the last of that sidewinder. And I'm here to tell you I was never happier about anything in all my born years. Ace Hanlon will say I done a good job. Here, I'll pour us a toast.
You name it, Wainwright.
With pleasure. To us, and success getting those settlers out of Paradise Plateau.
Here's how.
Yeah.
Right, good stuff you got there, Wainwright.
The best is not too good for Phil Wainwright, and now that all of Paradise Plateau is as good as ours, but there'll be plenty of time to celebrate later. Sheriff, I can't wait to start dispossessing those ranches. Let's get at it.
Oh, it'll be as easy as stealing eggs out of birds' nests now. What's that?
Wasn't expecting any callers. Come in.
I beg your pardon.
Don't beg our pardon, ma'am. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be interrupted by as pretty a woman as you. Welcome to Paradise Plateau.
Thank you. My name's Jane Bruce, and
Glad to make your acquaintance, Miss Bruce. I'm the sheriff here.
Wainwright's my name, Miss Bruce. Phil Wainwright. Here. Just let me dust off this chair.
Oh, but you shouldn't bother. You see, I
no
only...
No bother at all, Miss Bruce. Sit down.
Well, thank you. It's very sweet of you to put yourself out like
Might
this.
I be as bold as to ask where you're from, Miss Bruce?
Oh, I'm the school teacher at Painted Valley.
Painted Valley?
Hey, Wainwright. Ain't that where he's from?
Yeah. So, you're a school teacher, eh? Well, I've been figuring some on starting a school here at Paradise Plateau.
Here, nothing like educating the young'uns, I always say.
I'm sure you got the proper qualifications for the job, Miss Bruce. And since it's in my
But
power...
I don't want a job teaching school at Paradise Plateau.
You don't?
Then why are you here?
Well, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I'm hoping to find out about Red Ryder.
Huh?
What about Red Ryder?
Well, he and Little Beaver, that's the little Indian boy.
I know him.
Oh, then they did come here to Paradise Plateau?
Well, I don't know.
Why do you ask, ma'am?
Well, we'd heard that Red Ryder and Little Beaver came here. They're always disappearing like that, so the Duchess, she's Red Ryder's aunt, didn't worry about it particularly. But when several days passed and... Well, the Duchess decided I better come and find out what happened.
But you're only doing this on her account.
You don't care none what happens to him now, do you?
Oh, but I do. That is a... But why are you looking at me like that? Red Ryder did come to Paradise Plateau, didn't he?
Now, young lady...
Tell me the truth. What happened?
Well, now, I'm downright surprised that this pretty woman like you should ever bother her head about a maverick like Red Ryder.
Tell me the truth.
Hey, got it bad, ain't you?
I hardly see it's any business of yours.
I'll tell you something that's your business. Something that'll make you plumb change your mind about this cowboy. He's been flirting with another woman.
You're not telling me the truth.
Ask anybody here at Paradise Plateau about him and this young Mrs. Eddy, whose husband happened to have an accident.
Here, Red Ryder's mighty sweet on her. But it ain't no sense in a young woman like you pining her heart away for a mangy good
Don't
for
you
nothing.
dare say another word against him. Red Ryder's the finest,
Go
squarest...
down, crook. That's what he is.
You're lying, and I won't listen. I'm going to find Red Ryder, and he'll be mighty interested to hear what you've just said.
I don't think Red Ryder will care much, ma'am. You see, he's dead.
Dead?
Yeah.
He's dead in a rat, ma'am. We saw him drown.
If he did, you did it to him, didn't you? I can tell by the look on your face.
Now, see here,
You did it. You killed him.
Now, wait a minute.
Where is he? I'll scratch your eyes
Get her away from me, Sheriff.
Tell
She'll
me
tear
where
me to ribbons. Get this wildcat away from me.
How is he?
Worse. Much worse.
Me never see a Red Ryder sick like this.
Here, let me feel his forehead. He's burning up.
You, Williams?
Yes, Red. Me and Luke have been scouting around. Never saw so many sad people in my life as them settlers. But we can't tell them that you're alive for fear they'll get back to Wainwright.
Yeah. Mustn't take that chance.
I don't think we should let him talk anymore, Mr. Williams. Maybe later
Just
on.
one more thing. Some young woman, awful good looker, organized a bunch of folks to search for your body. Keeps crying and saying as how Red Ryder should at least get a decent burial.
Who is she?
Heard tell that she's from Painted Valley. They say Wainwright's face is a sight after she got through clawing him. It seems they had quite a...
What's her name?
Let me see now. Jeanette, Jean, no. It starts with J something.
Not Jane Bruce.
That's it, Jane Bruce. Recollect now, that's
Little
what it was.
Beaver.
Me here, Red Ryder.
Go tell Jane. Bring her here quick.
You betcha.
But be gosh darn careful nobody finds out what it's all about. Because if they do, we'll be in more trouble.
And I was so worried, Mr. Williams, and I thought, oh, Red, to find you still alive. You don't know how I... Oh, but somehow I couldn't quite make myself believe that you were... You will get well again, won't you?
Of course he will, ma'am.
Good to see you, Jane. But now that you know, you'd better go back to Painted Valley.
Go back? No, Red, I wouldn't think of it. I'm going to stay here and nurse you until you're well enough to go back with me.
I declare, Wainwright, you look like a spavined horse with all that court plaster on you. And trying to smoke that cigar.
Blast your hide, Sheriff. It ain't funny. If you hadn't just stood there like a wooden Indian while that she-tiger was mauling me.
Hey, Wainwright, Sheriff. Now listen.
You listen, Baldy. How many times do I have to tell you never to come busting in my office like a tornado?
Well, you'll go busting out of here like a tornado, Wainwright, if you hear what I heard.
What's up?
Red Ryder, he's still alive.
You're crazy.
We ourselves seen him drown.
Yeah, that's what you guys think.
You're just saying that, Baldy. Ryder couldn't be alive. You try to tell us different.
Joking me, will you?
You're going plumb loco, Wainwright. Let go of him. Let go of him.
All right. But talk quick, Baldy. And if what you say don't pan out to be the gospel truth, I'll...
Well, I was down watching them search for Ryder's body, and when the Injun kid come up and called that gal aside, you know, the one from Painted Valley.
Wainwright won't soon forget her.
Go on. Call her aside, and then what?
Well, something he whispered just about floored her, and off she scurries with him in the direction of the Eddy place. Well, I figured maybe they'd found Ryder's body, so I sneaked off after him to take a look-see. Well, the windows was all covered, but I got a peek inside, and Red Ryder's there. I saw him, and I heard him. He appears to be a gosh awful sick man, but he's alive.
Well, of all the dad ratted luck.
So, he's real sick.
I know what you're thinking, Wainwright. If he's so sick, we can walk right in on him and finish the job. He'll be as helpless as a newborn babe.
Be just like him to get the drop on us, even if he's half dead. No, I got a better idea. A much better idea.
Any better?
He's past the crisis. He'll win through. I know he will. Red Ryder's a fighter.
Sure he is, sure. He'll lick that fever.
Look at him. Weak as he is, he can't lie still.
Shh, he's trying to talk.
Got to open that gate. Start the water. Save cattle. Got to.
Even in his delirium, all he can think about's other people and their troubles.
Jane.
Yes, Red.
He's opening his eyes.
Howdy.
Oh, Mr. Ryder, you do feel better, don't you?
Why, yes, I think so.
Reckon he passed the crisis all right. Now, if nothing happens to...
Oh, Red.
Now, there, Jane. Didn't think I'd let a little thing like a fever get me, did you? Shucks, I'd be ashamed to go to heaven if I gave in as easy as that.
Now, you mustn't talk. You'll need every ounce of strength.
Fire!
Was that little beaver shouting?
Oh, I couldn't tell. But you hear that funny noise?
Fire!
Oh, look, the house is all ablaze.
Burning like tinder.
The field's burning, too.
Run for it before it's too
Oh,
late.
but Red, what about you?
Forget about me. Save yourself.
Oh, the door's blocked now. Our only chance is through the window. Open it, little
What do
beaver.
we do?
Me get in front of... him stop.
Wait, I'll break it open. Come on, out the window. Hey, the flames are coming in this way, too. Hurry, before we're trapped.
I've got to save Red.
Oh, no, forget about me.
I can get Red to the window. The rest of you be ready to help me get him through.
Save yourselves. Hurry.
Careful. None of them fallen brands hit any of your fire.
Just a few more steps.
There, we made it. Oh, we're safe.
Look out! The whole place is crashing in.
out of the Eddie place, Red Ryder's not only safe but feeling better. I actually seen him taking food.
Got more lives than a family of cats, said hombre.
You say he's at the Williams place now? They got it guarded, anybody?
Well, when I left, they was posting sentries.
I guess it's just no use, Wainwright. Better give up.
No, I won't give up. I'll find some way. I got it.
Got what?
The perfect way. Yeah, what a fool I've been.
Well, what do you mean by that?
We're in our legal rights in dispossessing those settlers. I'm through trying to handle Ryder myself when the law will do it for me.
The law will do nothing. I'm sheriff. Ain't I tried?
Ah, you. But you'll mind the United States Marshal, I reckon.
Eh?
Baldy, you're riding to Union City to fetch Marshal Wiggins. You'll not only clear the settlers off the land, but throw Red Ryder into prison.
Several days have passed since the fire at the Eddy Ranch. It is mid-afternoon now as we see a rider galloping up to the home of Frank Williams.
Oh, thunder. I know. You're hankering for some more exercise after all the time you've been tied up. But I can't oblige you right now.
Don't forget, you've barely gotten up from your sick bed, and if you overdo it...
Yes, Mr. Ryder, you've got to be careful.
Oh, shucks, nothing wrong with me anymore. I'm as fit as ever again.
By cracky red, I believe you. Never in my whole life heard of anyone recovering so fast.
Jane, you wanted to know where I'd been. Went over to look at the fire ruins.
I'm afraid Jim will have another setback when he learned that our place was burned down.
Now, don't you fret, Mrs. Eddy. Us settlers have been talking it over, and we're all going to pitch in and build you a new house, finer even than the one you had.
Oh, you've all been so kind, so wonderfully kind.
That's what neighbors are for, ma'am.
But, Red, you haven't told us yet. Were you able to find out how the fire got started?
Well, I say, look at Little Beaver come riding lickety-split.
Wonder what's up.
Red Ryder.
Now quit blowing like a steam engine, Little Beaver. What's all the commotion about?
Me see him, sheriff and posse. They come here, you betch 'em.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit. I've been waiting for Wainwright's next move. Let 'em come.
I tell you, Marshal, the way Red Ryder's been going on a rampage around here, Billy the Kid was a church singer by comparison.
Well, now, Wainwright, I find that mighty hard to believe. Mighty hard. You see, I've met up with Red Ryder before. While it was through him we got Ace Hanlon behind bars.
It was.
By the way, wasn't Ace Hanlon quite a crony of yours, Wainwright?
Well, Marshal, it's this way. You see, wait a minute. I'll be right with you. Gotta ask the sheriff something. Hey, Sheriff.
Well, it was your idea. Get that marshal here, Wainwright.
Blast him. He acts like I was a renegade instead of Red Ryder.
Queer, ain't it, how some folks always get certain hunches?
Shut up and listen to me. Marshal Wiggins wants to see before he'll believe. So we'll show him.
Yeah? Show him what?
Well, when we get to the Williams place, the rest of us will hang back while you ride up and do the talking.
Yeah? What'll I talk about?
You'll order Williams off the land.
You know he won't go.
Sure I know, you blockhead. Red Ryder will start interfering, and then you get Ryder to pull a gun on you.
Say, you ain't hearing any buzzing sounds in your head lately, have you, Wainwright?
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I know what I'm not a-doing. And that's to rile up Red Ryder so
All
that
he has to do is pull a gun. I didn't say he had to shoot.
Pulling the gun and shooting it is one motion with that hombre. I ain't taking no chances.
You'll do what I say, or I'll tell the marshal enough on you so that he takes you back with him to prison.
Why, you wouldn't dare. All that I have done has been alongside you or with your orders. You'd be hooked same as me.
I'm a careful man, Sheriff, when it comes to incriminating myself. Afraid you'd have quite a time trying to make your story stick. Well,
all right, I'll do it.
Look, Red, the others have stopped. The sheriff's riding up by himself.
Well, what can that mean?
We'll soon find out. Jane, you, Mrs. Eddy, and Little Beaver go back into the house.
Me stay 'em.
You do and me spank 'em. Now, things might start popping around here, so get.
Me sit 'em.
Come on, Little Beaver.
Let me do the talking, Williams.
By the authority vested in as sheriff, I order you to surrender this land to the Paradise Plateau Mutual Water Company.
That all you've got to say, Sheriff?
I'm not talking to you, Red Ryder. I'm talking to Williams.
Well, I'm talking for Williams. And the answer is no savvy.
Now, see here. If you know what's good for you...
No, you don't.
Wainwright! Marshal Wiggins, help!
Marshal Wiggins. So that's it.
Yes, Red. Here comes the marshal.
Hold there.
I hate to do this, Red Ryder, but you're under arrest.
But, Marshal, I only shot at him because he started to draw his gun.
I did not. I was only fixing to get me some makings for a cigarette.
It's my duty, Red. You better come quietly.
All right, Marshal. I'll come.
Get in there, Ryder. Just try to fly the coop this time.
No call for you to act up, Wainwright. I'm in charge. Trial will be in the morning, Red. You better get yourself a lawyer.
There's none here, Marshal. Besides, what good would it do me with Wainwright stacking the cards against me?
It's facts that I'll stack against you, Ryder. Facts, not cards. You'd go to prison even if you had all the lawyers in America to defend you. You know why? Because the law's all on my side.
Marshal, do you mind getting that coyote out of here?
Come along, Wainwright.
Sure, I'll come. But first, here's a little reading matter for you, Ryder.
Huh? Oh. One of those tricky contracts that you use to cheat the settlers.
Careful.
With,
Or I'll have you for slander along with everything else. That's an ironclad contract. And the settlers wouldn't have dared disobey it if it wasn't for you. I'm giving you that contract paper, Ryder, for a souvenir. And when the judge raps for order in court tomorrow morning, it'll be the beginning of the end for you.
Order! Courtroom is sure packed.
Oh, Mr. Williams, do you think Red has a chance?
Don't you worry, Miss Bruce. The settlers all know if Red is finished, so are they. Maybe something will happen.
Shooting happened. You betcha.
Order in the court.
Judge, before you start my trial, there's something that I'd like to say to my friends here.
Red Ryder, this is a court of law, not a town meeting. You'll have talking to plenty to do without making speeches now.
Just a minute, Your Honor. Judge, this is an ugly crowd. You better let Red Ryder talk to him.
Whatever you say, Marshal. Maybe the court could spare you a minute or two, Mr. Ryder. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge.
Order.
Now, folks, I know how you all feel, and I got a pretty good hunch what you're aiming to do. But even though it may mean the difference between me being stuck away in prison and breathing the air of the great open spaces, I'm asking you not to take the law into your own hands.
They'll kick us off our land.
No, they won't. They won't kick you off your land. If you'll just quiet down, I'll tell you why.
Order.
What the devil's he got up his sleeve now?
Quiet, Wainwright.
Now, folks, Phil Wainwright was obliging enough to give me a copy of that contract that you all signed. And having nothing better to do in jail, I read it over carefully. Every word of it.
What kind of bluff you trying to pull, Ryder? I don't care if you read it over 1,000,000 times.
Order.
Wainwright, the only reason you say that is because maybe you never read the contract clear through yourself. Or else you've got even less memory than backbone.
Judge! What kind of court is this, allowing a skunk like Red Ryder?
What did you call me, Wainwright?
Order. Court can't be responsible for what might happen to you, Wainwright, if you don't watch your language. Go on, Mr. Ryder.
Well, I just want to ask Wainwright one question. Did you or didn't you shut the sluice gate and cut off the water supply?
Sure I did. What up?
Hear that, everybody? He admits it in open court. He admits that he turned off the water. Now, let me read you this paragraph in the contract. The Paradise Plateau Mutual Water Company guarantees to furnish an adequate, continuous, and steady supply of water. And should the supply of water be cut off, ownership of the water system shall be transferred outright to the settlers of Paradise Plateau and operated by them in such manner as they shall see fit. Wainwright, you broke your own contract.
The printer made a mistake and copied the wrong contract form. He wasn't supposed to put that in.
But he did. And now you're held to it, Wainwright.
Order! Stop yelling or I'll hold you all for contempt of court.
Oh, Red, it's wonderful.
Wainwright's going to bust a blood vessel if he ain't careful.
Slip me your six-shooter, Williams. They took my guns, and I may need one.
Well, order now. Well, now that we can hear ourselves think once more.
Please, Judge. I'm not finished yet. Got a word to say about the burning of the Eddy place.
This is all highly irregular, Mr. Ryder.
But highly interesting, Judge. Go on, Red.
I want you all to take a look at this cigar.
What's a cigar got to do with it?
Only one codger around here smokes this particular brand of cigar, and he has to send clear back to Virginia for it. Phil Wainwright.
What you driving at, Red?
The reason the Eddy place burns so fiercely is because somebody sprinkled coal oil around. And the somebody who sprinkled the coal oil and struck a match to it is the same hombre who dropped this cigar and making his getaway. Name of Wainwright.
I'll shoot the first man that makes a move. Stand in your tracks if you don't want these guns to blaze. If you try to follow me...
There. That'll put you out of commission for a bit, Wainwright. And now, Marshal, quick. We've got to get Wainwright's Confederates, Boldy and the sheriff, before they can get away. Well, Marshal Wiggins, now that we've got all three hombres behind bars, I'm ready to go back to court again and stand trial.
Trial nothing. Why, you deserve a monument for what you've done for these settlers here. I'm proud to shake your hand, Red Ryder.
Thanks, Marshal. Well, I reckon that means my job's finished here at Paradise Plateau. So I'll be riding. All right, Thunder.
Come on, Thunder!
The adventure of Paradise Plateau ended, Red Ryder is free to return to the Painted Valley ranch of his Aunt the Duchess for a well-deserved rest. But he's not destined to be idle long, for already fate has begun to spin another web of intrigue on the range. Already trouble is brewing in Millersville, and when we join him, Red will again be riding the trail. Listen for the next exciting episode of Red Ryder. Red Ryder is presented for your enjoyment each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7:30 by Langendorf, bakers of the bread judged America's finest. Get a loaf of fresh and tasty Langendorf bread at your grocer's tomorrow. America's will to win depends upon the physical and mental fitness of all of us. Good health helps build the high morale so necessary in these days of strain. So keep physically fit and do your bit. Invest in freedom and build up real savings for the future by buying defense bonds and stamps. Help national defense activities by volunteering for Red Cross, civilian defense, USO, and other important work. Langendorf bread, rich in body-building carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and dextrose for extra energy, will help you maintain the physical and mental fitness which builds courage and optimism so needed during these trying days. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the Blue Network.